Hey you guys, what's up? It's your boy here, Ken, once again. Going to do my preview for WrestleMania Night 1 this Saturday. Just give my thoughts and opinions on the Night 1 card and give my predictions for it in particular. So there's a few matches. Well, I'll say this on paper. The two matches that I am mostly interested in uh, are the SmackDown Women's Championship match and then the WWE Championship match. Um, I'm mostly excited for. Everything else on this card is kind of weak. I'm not gonna lie. And then one other match I am interested in, but we'll get into it. So I don't know how and what order this is gonna go on the pay per view, but so far here are the matches. Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. Um, I think this is going to be probably this has potential to be one of the best matches on the card, like match of the night for night one of WrestleMania. Cesaro's a wrestling machine. Seth Rollins, I always say he's a freaking workhorse. Um, I could see Cesaro getting this, but then I could also see Seth Rollins because Seth Rollins had just came back during the Royal Rumble. Looks like his big match in ring return. I don't know who they give this to because Rollins. This would be Rollins like first big like feud or match you could say going into WrestleMania, and this is obviously the biggest match Cesaro's had in his career to date. Um, I don't know where they go with this. I mean, if it were me, I'd say Cesaro. The only thing is that if Cesaro beats Seth Rollins here, I don't know where they go with Cesaro. I really don't. I think he's been getting this push lately over on SmackDown for the last several weeks. I don't know what the end game is for Cesaro. Is it a Universal Championship match down the line? Will Cesaro even become Universal Champion at some point in 2021? I don't want to say never, but I think just him being at WrestleMania, having this feud with Seth Rollins, this is probably the peak of Cesaro's push in 2021. So I'm just gonna go with Cesaro. I think they might squeeze another match out of this between Rollins and Cesaro, like for like the next month or so. So I'm gonna say Cesaro gets this one. Next match we have is going to be a tag team match between The Miz and John Morrison versus Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. This is a useless um, match, in my opinion. Like I said, I respect Bad Bunny. He is a fan of wrestling, and from what I've heard, the guy has been training for weeks and months on end, preparing for this very marquee match. Um, Only beneficial thing I say out of this is Damian Priest is on WrestleMania and he's getting a rub, a WrestleMania rub, and for it to be his first WrestleMania, there could be a lot worse spots for Damian Priest. So I'm going to go with Bad Bunny and Damian Priest getting this over the Miz and John Morrison, and after that they can push Damian Priest and have him do something else. Um, Next here we have a WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match. So this was just added recently, from what I remember, on Raw. Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler will defend the women's tag team titles against the tag team turmoil winners. I don't know what women tag teams are consisted in this tag team turmoil. I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be in the pre-show. Um, I don't know who's going to win. I don't know who the participants are, and I don't know who's going to win. So I'm just going to say Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler successfully defend the title here. Next up, we have in a steel cage match, Shane McMahon versus Braun Strowman. This is another feud that everyone could say like, don't really care for. What's the point or purpose? I know I'll put it to you this way: being in the spot, or even in WrestleMania with a McMahon, that's probably the best spot you're gonna get if you're not in a championship match. I mean, let's be real. I mean, the McMahon family aren't wrestlers per se, but like any storyline, no matter how ridiculous it is, any story that involves the McMahon family, that's a storyline that's always going to get the most attention and the most build to it. It's going to get the most, attraction sometimes from an audience. So, despite the build for this match being completely senseless and stupid, Braun Strowman could be in a worse spot, I guess you could say, at WrestleMania. Um, I mean, going from Goldberg in the Universal title to Shane McMahon, not the biggest downgrade, I guess. Out of this, I'm going to go with Braun Strowman. If Shane beats Braun, my God, how much further can WWE push Braun Strowman down the burial trash can? Like, I don't even know. So I'm going to go with Braun Strowman here. And you know what? It might, because it's a steel cage, it might be a fun match where we just see Shane McMahon just get tossed and thrown around like a sack of potatoes in a cage match. He may get beat up and bloodied up. So despite the lack of build, that could be like a entertaining, fun match to watch just to see Shane get beat up. Next, we have the Raw Tag Team Championships. The New Day are defending the Raw Tag Team titles against AJ Styles and Almost. Another feud they just randomly slapped together within 2 weeks. Really no build behind it. The only intrigue, or slight intrigue, I guess you could say, really, is that this will be Almost's wrestling debut. He hasn't wrestled before. I mean, the guy is like freaking huge. He's like the size of Shaquille O'Neal. So we don't know really much of his in-ring work or how much he can do. We'll see. I'm going to go with AJ Styles and Omos. I mean, New Day's been tag team champions like how many times now? AJ Styles has never been tag team champion. And because this is going to be Omos' debut match, pretty sure they're not going to have him lose. So I'm going to go with AJ Styles and Omos. Next, we have the SmackDown Women's Championship match between Sasha Banks and Bianca Belair. I know a lot of people have been saying that WWE have kind of ruined this feud, or the build of this feud. I don't feel like it's been ruined. I feel like it was starting off good, and then they just completely took a different direction. It could have been better, but they just kind of went a different route. And yeah. I think this is going to be a fun match. I am a huge. No, I love my Sasha Banks. I do. But I have really become a huge fan of Bianca Belair over the past year. Like, I don't pay too much attention to like too many women in the women's division, other than a certain few. But in terms of like, if you say who had the it factor, Bianca Belair has it. She's got the personality. She's got the look. She's got the athleticism. She's got. I mean, I guess she could maybe do better on the mic. I mean, I don't know. She carries herself well enough on the mic to not embarrass herself. So the sky's the limit for Bianca Belair. I mean, the girl has it. I'm gonna go with Bianca Belair. It wouldn't surprise me if WWE does not have her win, just because. But I'm gonna go with Bianca Belair on this one. I think Bianca Belair should win and be the new champion. Then we get on to the main event itself: Bobby Lashley versus Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. This is going to be the match that I think a lot of people are going to be kind of 50-50 on. In terms of the match delivery itself, I think the match will deliver. I think, unlike the match between what we got with Brock Lesnar and Drew McIntyre last year, I think this is going to be a better match, just because Lesnar can do a lot more in the ring than Brock, or at least what Brock chooses to do. in the ring, so he can definitely work a lot more with McIntyre. I think they're gonna do like at least like a 15-20 minute match with this, hands down. Um, this is tricky. I think Bobby Lashley should retain. I think a lot of people have really turned on to Bobby Lashley since becoming WWE champion. There have been some people I've noticed on the internet that have kind of turned away from McIntyre, but what we all thought, you know, the word since last year was that the WWE wanted McIntyre to win the WWE title at WrestleMania in front of an audience to kind of make up for last year due to there being a pandemic and McIntyre winning the WWE title in an empty arena. Um, I mean, we're here now. I just learned, like, in part of doing this video, I just learned that WWE are going to have 25,000 people in attendance for both night 1 and 2 at WrestleMania. So they're going to have an audience. But, man, I think Bobby should retain. I think Bobby should retain, and Bobby should just be a beast and just continue to move on. As for Drew McIntyre, I mean, it'll be, if McIntyre wins, let's just get out of let's just call it what it is. McIntyre's going to beat Lashley. McIntyre's going to beat Lashley, being a 3-time WWE champion. Should that happen, where do they go with Bobby Lashley from there? I don't know. I think WWE has done a piss poor job in, like, the latter weeks of Lashley's run as WWE champion. But I think they need to put the full carriage behind Lashley, just like they had with McIntyre last year. Do it for Lashley this year. Lashley doesn't have to have a 1-year run, but at least, like, give it to him till summer, like SummerSlam. So yeah, we'll see what happens here. But I definitely think I want Lashley to win. That's who I'm picking. But I think it's kind of the way they've been booking things the last couple of Raws. It's kind of obvious at this point. Drew McIntyre is going to be walking out a 3-time WWE champion. So this is just my predictions here for night 1 of WrestleMania. After going through the card here, and like I said, they may add something. I really doubt it, because they took off the Andre Battle Royal and the SmackDown Tag Team Championship matches off the card, and both of those matches are going to air on SmackDown this Friday. So, just looking at these matches that I just had right now, like, Saturday is really weak. I mean, like I said, the two main titles for the SmackDown Women's and the WWE title match, those are the only matches that interest me. And then maybe after that, like, Cesaro and Seth Rollins is, like, probably a sleeper. But other than that, it's a pretty weak card for night 1 of WrestleMania. I probably should have compared this to last year's night 1 just to see the difference, because I think night 1 of last year was definitely more stacked compared to this. But in whatever the case, you guys let me know what you think. Do you agree or disagree with my opinions? What matches are you looking forward to the most on night 1 of WrestleMania 37 this Saturday? Do yourself a favor, hit that like button, and subscribe. Peace out.